Guys, it's good to be back doing another learning cast for you. Look, I'm going to quickly work through most of the tasks of this worksheet that I gave out on price elasticity of demand. Alright, so here we go. It's going to be pretty fast paced and I'll use the red pen. Hopefully that'll show up. Alright, task 1. What does it mean if a quantity gives an inelastic response? Well, look, it just means a small change, doesn't it? Inelastic, small. What does it mean if a quantity gives an elastic response? It means a large change. A large change in response to a change in price. So if there's a change in price, quantity, depending on the direction of the price change, quantity will go up by a large amount or down by a large amount. Likewise, up here when we're talking about an elastic response, if the price changes, then the quantity will either go up by a small amount or go down by a small amount depending on the direction of the price change. Right, have you got it? Good, I'm turning the page. Right, now look, this is just a little technique of mine just for quickly calculating percentage changes. So how does it work? Well look, 150 as a percentage of itself is 100%. We can represent that as 1, can't we? And what we're doing to that 100%, we're increasing it by 35%. So that's plus 35%. Or another way of writing that is 1.35. There's that little point. So if you like, that becomes our multiplication factor. So what I do is I just take the 150, multiply it by 1.35. Oops, got to use my rubber. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Alright, getting good with this stuff, getting good with the technology. So I'll just that point back 1.35. Look, and when you do that, if your calculator is the same as mine, you should get a price of $202.50. How's that? That was easy, wasn't it? Easy peasy. All right, here we go. So 750 units as a percentage of itself, what is it? Well, that's 100%, isn't it? Or another way of writing that is 1. And what are we doing to it? We're decreasing it by 55%. So we can rewrite that as 1 minus 0.55, and what we'll come up with is a factor of 0.45. So that's our multiplication factor. So how I calculate that answer, I just go 750 times 0.45. Alright, and so that's $337.5 units, isn't it? Units. Man, I'm amazed I'm talking so fast, I'm getting like Sil Khan. Right, okay. This one here, well, you know, the routine, it's going to be 1. What are we doing? We're reducing by 0.35. What's our factor going to be? It's going to be 0.65. So let's come in and do the multiplication. 200 times 0.65. And that's going to be, what are we in? We're dollars, that's going to be $130. Okay, done, easy. Right, moving on. Now, catching my breath, calculate a price elasticity of demand. Well, look, you've got to remember what the formula is. That's the formula there. Now, what do we have to do to calculate the value? Well, we've just got to substitute these values into that formula, don't we? So here we are. I'll just do this over here. It's going to be 40%. And remember, it's a price decrease, so show it as a minus number. Because remember, this value is always going to be negative, because either the price is going up, which means the quantity is going down, or the price is going down, which means the quantity is going up. So, you know, one's going to be a positive change and one's going to be a negative change. And so a positive divided by a negative, or a negative divided by a positive, is always going to be negative. Alright, so let's just reach for the calculator. What does it work out to be? Well, I've got minus 0.8. Now I need to interpret that value. Okay, we'll just use our absolute function. Just put those square brackets in. It's a great device, this function. And so what have we got? Well, because the absolute value of the price elasticity of demand is less than 1, we've got an inelastic response. in quantity. Quantity only changes by a little bit. Either it's going up by a little bit or coming down by a little bit relative to the price change. Alright, moving on. This one, let me have a look at this. What have we got here? Okay, so that's minus 70% divided by plus 50% if you want to be a bit of a purist about your signs. And when I hit the calculator, if your calculator is as good as mine, you should come with minus 1.4. That's what we expect. We expect that minus value. Now let's get into the interpretation. Let's find the absolute value. What have we got here? Minus 1.41, 1.4. Okay, so let's interpret the value. The EP is greater than 1. So this is indicating that we're going to get, yes, an elastic response. Oops, there's that rubber. Going to have to slow down, it's a bit dangerous for my health. So we have to get an elastic response in quantity, aren't we? So when we change the price, relative to the price change, the quantity is going to go up by a lot. Well, it's going to go down by a lot. Just remember, it just depends on the direction of the price change. Okay, well that's fairly straightforward. So moving on to the next. Alright, okay. Cross out which does not apply. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheekily do that and using that absolute function. And we know it's going to equal 2.5. That value is greater than 1, so we're going to get an elastic response from quantity, aren't we? Elastic response from quantity when we change its price. So I'll cross out here inelastic. Again, I'm coming down here, I'm going to be cheeky, I'm just going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and so that we know the absolute value is 0.75. So again, just interpreting what it means, the absolute value of the price elasticity of demand just calculated is less than 1, therefore we're going to get an inelastic. Response. Okay, can you just take the time to model that one for? Oh yeah, I can. Look, here's the price going up, so we know the quantity is going to go down, and the quantity is only going to go down by a little bit. Or it could be this situation here, isn't it, where here's the price coming down, and the quantity is only going to go up by a little bit. Now, just staying with this, look, we know that price times quantity equals total revenue. Now, I'll use a different colour. What's going to happen in this case here? Well, the direction of the biggest arrow is going to show us what's going to happen to total quantity. Here's the biggest arrow here, and it's showing us that the total revenue is going to increase. Oh, that's good. All right. Okay, can I get another colour quickly? I'll just see. Yes, I can. I'll take this one here. All right. Now, what's happening down here, guys? What's the direction of the longest arrow? It's that belonging to price, isn't it? It's pointing down, so therefore it's going to tell us that this one's going to tell us that the total revenue is going to go down if we make that price change of decreasing the price. Have you got it? I hope so. I'm just going to change page. Alright, task 5. We're nearly there, nearly done. Alright. So just reading this part of the question, yes, and the EP over this range, okay, alright. So the EP value, if we do this, is going to be less than 1, so we're going to get an inelastic response, aren't we? In quantity. I'll just abbreviate it that way. Alright, so let's just do our modelling. Price is going up by 20%, but the percentage decrease in quantity is going to be less than that of price, so there's only a small change in quantity and it's coming down. The direction of the largest arrow shows what's going to happen to total revenue, therefore we know that total revenue is going to go up. That's a good pricing move. It's generating more total revenue. Alright, next one. So it's a decrease, okay. And what's the EP? Okay. So the absolute value of the EP is greater than 1. It means that we're going to get an elastic response in quantity to a change in price. Right, so let's go and model that. So we've got the price coming down by 10%. So that means that the quantity is going to go up. So is it going to go up by a little bit or a lot? Yes, you should be saying a lot. Put that arrow in. Now it's all becoming too easy. What's going to happen to total revenue? Well, it's the direction of the longest arrow that's going to tell us, yep, the total revenue is going to go up. And that's another good pricing move, isn't it? Alright. Okay, next one. Alright, okay, this is getting a bit more tricky. Alright, so we've got some information to pull out, haven't we? So we know that P1 is $500 per unit, right? And we know that Q1 is equal to 200 units. Right, and we're going to increase the price by 80%, so it's a positive increase. So my multiplication factor, so I'm relying on you to use some prior knowledge, is going to be 1.8. And so when I do that multiplication, I've got a price of P2, which is going to be $90 per unit. That's great, Kim, that's good. Got to keep talking to yourself sometimes. Now what we've got is a percent, we've got there, it's going to go down by 30%. So that's going to be 1 minus 0.3. The multiplication factor is going to be 0.7. Do our old multiplication thing, and that gives us 140 units. Right, let's go and evaluate what's happened. Well, here's the ultimate task, task 7, but you know what, guys? You need to do some thinking and some working out too. I'm leaving this one for you. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this learning cast, and it really does make me appreciate how skilled Sal Khan is at making these things. He speaks very quickly and writes quickly as well. It's not an easy thing to do. Okay, guys, catch you next time.